Good morning, class 9 students. I'm your physics teacher and this is the part 4 video for the chapter motion. This would be the last part for the chapter. Let's begin. So the objectives of this video are to study about the equations of the motion and to study the uniform circular motion. The equations of motion, there are three equations of motion, and they are also called as the kinematic equations because the word kinematics contains kinetic, and this kinetic also means motion only. Okay, so let's begin with the equations of motion. So the first equation of the motion is, I already told you that there are three equations, so we will see all the three equations, but this is the first equation of motion, that is v is equal to u plus at. So v over here is final velocity, u over here is initial velocity, a is acceleration, and time is t. So till now you should know that the acceleration is the change of velocity per unit time. So the change of velocity per unit time is acceleration. And you should also know till now that in this graph, if this is a graph, the initial velocity is u at the point A. Suppose a body or a car starts from the point A at the velocity u and reaches to the destination B with the velocity v. So v is the final velocity with which it has reached the destination, and the starting velocity from the point A was u. Okay, so this is the velocity axis. It tells the rate of change of velocity, and this is time per unit time. So this slope AB gives us acceleration. This straight line AB at any point gives us the acceleration only. Okay, so what is the acceleration? It is the change of velocity, that is final velocity minus initial velocity. As you can see, this final velocity is much more than initial velocity over here. So final velocity v minus initial velocity u of the body or the object divided by per unit time. So this becomes time t. Okay, now you can easily take this t over there. So this will become at is equal to v minus u. Okay, and again keeping this v on the same side, we can move this u on the other side. So when it will go on the other side, its sign will change and it will become positive. So it will become u in positive plus at. Okay, so this is already at over here. So this becomes v is equal to u plus at. Okay, so this is the first equation of motion. So this was the derivation of the first equation. So you can see it shows the velocity and time relation. So this equation is also called as velocity time relationship. Okay, so this was the first equation of motion. Now let's study about the second equation of motion. See, the second equation of motion is S is equal to ut plus half at square. So this S is displacement, u is initial velocity, t is time, a is acceleration, and again this t is time. So you have to remember all the three equations. These are very important equations. So in the last slide, we have seen that this line gives us acceleration. So when we look on or concentrate only on this line, it will give us what? Acceleration. but you can see there is some large distance which is under the line. If we join the points B with this C on the axis, you will see this large kind of area under this line. Okay, so in the last class we have already seen that the area inside the curve or area under the curve gives us displacement only. Area under the VT graph, so this is velocity and time. So velocity time graph, if you will see the area under the graph, it will give us displacement. And here why we are taking displacement? Because we have to prove that S is equal to UT plus half AT square. And S you already know is displacement. So we have to find out the area which is this, okay, inside the line AB. So you can see that this is nothing but a trapezium where this AO is parallel to the line BC, and this is the height of the trapezium. AD is the height. Okay, so you know that how to find out the area of the trapezium. Okay, so area of the trapezium A, B, D, C, O. We have to find this area, and this would be nothing but half into sum of the parallel sides multiplied by the height. So you can see sum of the parallel sides. The parallel sides are AO and BC, and multiplied by the height, that is AD, which is equal to the time OC. Okay, so here we can write height as OC. Then you can see that this is our initial velocity U. In the last slide also we have seen that this is the U or initial velocity, and this is the final velocity, this big one BC. This is V, and this is small distance is U. So here we can write that U plus V multiplied by OC. So OC is our time. So we can write it as T. Okay. Now you have to multiply this T with U and with this V. So this is multiplication over addition, that is distributing multiplication over addition, distributive property. So this becomes half UT plus VT. Okay, because this T gets inside the bracket and gets multiplied with U also and V also. Okay, but in this case you already know the equation of motion. The first equation of motion is V is equal to U plus AT. So you can clearly replace this V over here with U plus AT. Okay, so this will become UT plus AT square, because this T is already there and it will get multiplied with this U. It will become UT, and this T when gets multiplied with this AT, it will become AT multiplied by T, so it will give you AT square. Okay, so we get this half UT was already there and one more UT plus AT square because of this equation. Okay, so now you can add this UT's, so you will become a half bracket 2UT plus AT square. Correct. Now you can open the brackets. This half gets multiplied with 2UT, it gets cancelled over here and you will get only UT, and this half also gets multiplied this with this AT square, so it becomes half AT square. Okay, so this was displacement, it was continuing from here only. So S is equal to UT plus half AT square. So you can see this is the relation between displacement and time, because both the terms contain time. So we can say that this is displacement time relation. Okay, so the second equation is the displacement time equation or relation. Understood? So let's start with the third equation of the motion. When you already have studied about the first equation, v is equals to u plus at and s is equals to ut plus half at square, we can go ahead with the third equation of motion, which is v square is equal to u square plus 2as, where v is final velocity, u is initial velocity, a is acceleration, and s is displacement. So for proving this third equation, we should know the first equation also and second equation also. So the first equation is v is equal to u plus at, and the second equation is s is equal to ut plus half at square. But in the third equation, you cannot find any term with t. Can you see any term with t? It is v square is equals to u square plus 2as. So there is no time over here. But both these equations contain time. So we are going to use these equations and replace the time only. So replace time using the first and second equation. First take the first equation. From equation 1, you can say that t is equal to v. You can take this u on that side, it will become v minus u, and then you can take this a down, so it will become v minus u upon a. So this is the time from equation 1. Okay. Now this t we will put in the equation number 2. So see this equation number 2. S or displacement is equals to ut plus half at square. So in place of this t, we have to put this v minus u upon a. So this becomes u multiplied by this bracket v minus u upon a plus half a and then t again. So we have to keep this in the place of t. So this becomes v minus u upon a raised to the power whole square. Okay. Now you know that v minus u whole square, you can apply a identity of polynomials, that is v square plus u square minus 2 uv, that is a square plus b square minus 2ab. So that identity only you can apply over here. Rest everything will become same only. This u can get multiplied, open the bracket, get multiplied with v, it will become uv upon a. This u again gets multiplied with the second term, this will become minus u multiplied by u upon a plus half a, and here we are going to apply the identity, so it will become v square plus u square minus 2uv divided by a square. So because square is on the whole bracket, it will become a square. Okay. Now we'll open these brackets also. So this becomes uv upon a minus u square, u multiplied by u becomes u square upon a plus, so this half a gets multiplied with this v square. Okay, so you can say that this a can get cancelled this with one of the a in the denominator, and only one a in the denominator will be left. Okay, so this will become, when you will multiply this with this v square, so it will be v square upon 2a. The a would be left in the denominator only. Then it will be multiplied with u square, so this will become half u square a divided by a, and this last term minus 2uv divided by 2a. This 2 and 2 can get cancelled over here only. Okay, now it will become uv upon a minus u square upon a plus this u square upon 2a. So you can see that there are two terms. One is minus u square upon a and the other is So you can see these two terms, minus u square by a plus u square by 2a. Correct. This is one is in positive and this one is in negative. And here half of it is there and this is one full unit. So you can write it as minus u square by 2a. Okay. And this is v square by 2a, which is written over here. The first term and the last term, you can see uv upon a and minus uv upon a. These can get cancelled because one is in positive and the other one is in negative. So this will get cancelled. So we are left with, when we equate this, we'll solve this, it will get minus u square by 2a and this term plus v square by 2a. Okay, so we can write it as s equal to this, and this 2a will go on other side, it will become 2as. This 2a which is in the denominator will go on the other side and will get multiplied with this s. So we will get 2as is equal to v square minus u square. Okay, this u is in minus, so it is in minus u square and v square minus u square. So you can see that there is displacement and both these terms are velocity. This is final velocity and this is initial velocity. So this is displacement velocity relation. And if you want to make a graph, this is based on the same graph. All the three equations are made on the same graph where initial velocity is u, final velocity is v. This is the time OC. This is also based on the same graph. The second equation and the third equation also is on the same graph because we are using the equation 1 and equation 2 and replacing time to get this displacement velocity relation. So this was the derivation of the all three equations, but the applications are also very important. So let's understand, take one example, one numerical, so that you can understand more about these equations. Okay, so this is one question, one numerical. A car is traveling with a speed of 20 meters per second. So the speed is given as 20 meters per second. It acquires a velocity of 30 meters per second in 5 seconds. So after 5 seconds, the velocity changes to 30 meters per second. So that means this is the initial velocity. At point A, you can understand that when the car started, it acquired a speed of 20 meters per second, and after traveling for 5 seconds, the velocity changed to 30 meters per second. And now you have to calculate acceleration and the distance covered by the car. So initial velocity is 20 meters per second, final velocity v is 30 meters per second, and the time is 5 seconds. Using the first equation of motion, we know that v is equals to u plus at. Okay, so v is given as 30, u is given as 20 meters per second. You have to find the acceleration and time is 5 seconds. Okay, so this 20 will go there. We have to find this a. This 20 will go there. It will change the sign, it will become negative. Also you can see this 5 is in multiplication with this a. It will also change the side and it will go in division because here it is in multiplication, it will go in division. So 30 minus 20, you can write it as 10 divided by 5 in the denominator. This will give you 2. Okay, so the acceleration becomes 2 meters per second square. So here you get the acceleration which was asked. Okay, and after that you have to also find the distance covered by the car. Distance is nothing but the s. So you have to use the second equation of motion, that is s is equal to ut plus half at square. Okay, so ut plus half at square. Now You know that the value of u is 20, the time is t, plus half acceleration we have found, that is 2 meters per second square, multiplied by 2 times of this t into t, that is 5 into 5. Okay, so this 20 multiplied by 5, this will become 100, plus this 2 will get cancelled, so 5 5s remains as 25. So we can add it and it will become, the distance will become 125 meters. Okay, so this is how you have to use these equations to find out different things. Okay, the application is very important, and at the same time these are the two equations, the equation number 1 and equation number 2. The third equation can also be used whenever the time is not given. So in the third equation, if you remember, there is no time in this equation. V square is equals to u square plus 2as. So when you are going to use this kind of equation, when there is no time given in the question or asked in the question, then you can use this equation. Okay, so okay, now let's see the next topic, that is uniform circular motion. You already know what is a circular motion. When any object travels in the circular path, it is called as the circular motion or uniform circular motion. So uniform circular motion is the motion of the object traveling at the constant or the uniform speed on a circular path. Okay, so like for an example, when we hold a thread and this kind of plane is tied to the one end of the thread and the other hand side, we are holding the thread such that this becomes the radius of this circular path, and we revolve this plane in a circular motion. This kind of motion is a circular motion. Now if what will happen if you will stop revolving it and you throw this uh, thread over here only, the plane will try to go out of this circular path. It will go away of this circular path. At any point of time, it is true that if you will leave the thread from the hand, from the center, what will happen? It will go in outward direction with the velocity v with which it was moving. At this point, if you will leave it, it will go somewhere else out of the circular motion. Okay, try it once. If you have something, tie a stone with the thread and try to revolve it in the circular path, and when you will leave it at any point, what will happen? It will just move out of the circular path and it will go somewhere else only. Okay, so there is one more force that acts into the center, that is applied with this hand, this muscular force. Okay, what happens? It always keeps the plane revolving around the circular path only, which acts towards the center of the circle, and this force is called as the centripetal force. Okay, this force which acts at the center, which moves the plane in the circular path at any point of time, is called as the centripetal force. Also, what happens at any point of time, the velocity of this plane is v, which is uniform. We have already said that the motion is uniform. That means the velocity always remains same. So if the velocity over here or the speed of the plane is 2 meters per second over here, it will be here also 2 meters per second, here also 2 meters per second, and here also. So it is a uniform circular motion. So for this, one revolution is equal to the circumference of the circle, and the time period is t. For suppose period t is the time required to travel once around the circle, that is to make one complete revolution. In that case, velocity is given by the circumference of the circle divided by the time. So we can write the circumference of the circle is always 2 pi r and the time period is t. So in this case, the velocity is given by 2 pi r divided by this t. Okay, so this was it for uniform circular motion. Now I hope you have understood this whole chapter, and the uniform circular motion, you will study more about this circular motion in your 11th class. Till now, till for this chapter, this is it, and please solve your assignment questions. There are some questions and numericals based on this chapter, so please try to solve them in your notebook. Thank you.